What science fiction or fantasy show is worth watching? The Expanse. Also, read the books. They are very good. I just started the books, haven't seen any of the show yet. Just finished book 1 and am hooked. Battlestar Galactica, the one from the early 2000s with Edward James Olmos. So say we all. So say we all. Futurama. Stargate SG-1. Window of Opportunity is the best episode of TV I've ever seen. Edit. I'd quit a wholesome award is, but, thank you. Edit 2. Too many awards to keep track, but, thank you all. Glad so many people enjoyed that show in this comment. In the middle of my backswing? My 12-year-old shouts wacko on a daily basis. Warms my heart. I'm telling you Teal'c, if we don't find a way out of this soon I'm gonna lose it. Lose it, it means go crazy, nuts, insane, bonzo, no longer in possession of one's faculties, 3 fries short of a happy meal wacko. Utopia, UK. Very good and very underrated. Where is Jessica Hyde? The only show to make you feel empathy for someone that murders a bunch of kids. Dark on Netflix in an amazing show. Highly recommend. Edit. Wow, this really blew up. It's definitely a show with a strong following. Thank you all for the awards. More people need to watch this because holy shit it ducks with you so much. Became my favorite show of all time. The only show in probably 15 years or so to make me hold my hand to my mouth in tense anticipation as I realized what was probably about to happen and then audibly gasp in shock when it did. I'm on mobile so I can't easily spoiler tag. It was during season 3. Red Dwarf. If you want a comedy. Edit, see Red Dwarf. Rimmer, go to Red Alert. Crichton, are you sure sir, it does mean changing the bulb. Finally, some professionalism. Dark is my favorite show of all time. It's a Netflix original and in German. It's a time travel show that fully embraces the paradoxes a lot of other media dealing with time travel tend to ignore or avoid. It's a truly beautifully complex show with some of the best and most shocking twists I've seen on television. The casting is also absolutely phenomenal. The show spans over 100 years and shows multiple generations of characters. Younger and older versions of characters genuinely look like the same actor at different points in their lives. I'm shocked at how good Arcane is. Edit. Since so many people have either commented that it's the best series ever or highly overrated, let me say the obvious, it's not for everyone. I understand many of the criticisms, and would disagree with anyone who acts like it's perfect. It is pretty original and well produced. Arcane is amazing. That show shocked me since I'm not at all into League of Legends and I really ended up enjoying it. It's also great to see the animation medium expanding out into more diverse styles and genres. I honestly think it was better for not knowing anything at all about League. Meant I couldn't immediately predict who was important and what was going to happen. The Expanse. So good. It's like Game of Thrones in space, only the books are essentially finished so it doesn't get the sharp drop in quality. One of the most important things about The Expanse is that the book writers are actively involved in the show's production. They're executive producers and write the script. They acknowledge weaknesses in the books and adjust the show to improve the plot and narrative. They also allow the characters to develop organically and take the actors' talents and insights into consideration while writing the show. For example, Drummer and Ashford were both given bigger roles in the show because the writers were so impressed with their performance. They understand the source material better than anyone, which is why season 3 was basically 2 books condensed into 10 episodes, but it was still so good. And they aren't hung up on their own egos and let the universe and characters take a life of their own. The Twilight Zone. Over 60 years later and so many of the episodes still hold up so well because of the great writing. I'm kicking myself. I hadn't thought about watching that series in decades. Shame on me as the few I saw were thoughtful and excellent. Time to fill in the gaps that I haven't seen. Thanks for the recommendation. Don't forget Tales from the Dark Side and The Outer Limits. Nobody mentioned Babylon 5? It's a little old, but that show has some of the best space opera storytelling out there. Not only is B5 fantastic, original and pioneering, it's getting an update or reboot from the original showrunner soon. Can't wait to see B5 in a modern reincarnation. I can't imagine anyone else playing Jakar or Londo. Firefly. Travelers, it's on Netflix, very character driven and has an ending, albeit brutal and bittersweet. Worth it if more cerebral stuff with an action scene every now and then sounds fun. This show was great. Shame they ended it, but I appreciate that they did because they could have kept going, but they'd have likely run out of steam like so many other shows. Fringe.edit, wow, never expected this to blow up the way it did. Thank you all also for other viewing suggestions. Misfits being human. X-Files. Edit, thank you for all of the awards, this one of my favorite shows and I'm so happy that so many of you want to believe too. Eureka. And Warehouse 13. For a few years there the Friday night lineup on Sci-Fi Channel was so incredible. Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, Eureka and Warehouse 13. Best 2 hours of sci-fi television in my lifetime. They were all great shows. Edit, it was a 4-hour block, not 2-hour block. Total brain fart on my part. God, the Sci-Fi Prime block on Friday nights was so awesome for almost a decade. So many great shows through that window, and some less great but still good. I looked forward to Friday nights in with the wife and our young kiddos watching some great sci-fi TV. Then they changed their name to Sci-Fi and started to show mostly Ghost Hunter and cheap semi-scripted crap, and it's been downhill ever since. Totally agree with you that when they made the change to Sci-Fi Channel things went downhill really quick with the quality of their programming. Can't remember exactly when they changed the name from Sci-Fi Channel to Sci-Fi Channel, but it's like they immediately got rid of all common sense at the network. Like they didn't understand their viewers at all. Even more recently when they've aired good shows, they end up canceling them way too soon, e.g. The Expanse. Those Friday nights when they were airing great content was just the best. Similar to you, my entire family gathered around the TV to watch every week. It was some great family bonding time in addition to great TV. I'm old enough to remember when the Sci-Fi Channel started. Must have been late 80s or early 90s, cause I was a kid and we had one of those big satellite dishes that physically turned to face the correct satellite. I remember my mom and I being so excited for the new channel. For about a week before they aired anything, they played a loop of this trippy music in a hatch. Every few minutes, the hatch would open and a female voiceover would say room for one more. That was so ducking cool as a little kid, and looking back, it shows how in tune they were with what their audience wanted from a channel dedicated to science fiction. It's so disappointing to see what they've become now. Farscape. The answer is always Farscape. Black Mirror. I enjoyed Altered Carbon. Season 1 was amazing. Season 2 may. I'd give it's exactly what you're looking for. But Good Omens on Amazon Prime Video, or the book, is golden. What We Do in the Shadows. Jackie Daytona, regular human bartender. I will recommend the movie Arrival for the best aliens ever. Steins Gate. Good Omens on Amazon Prime. Totally worth it. Dark Matter. Got better every season. Gone Too Soon. Felled by the Sci-Fi Channel axe. The Expanse. Cancelled on Sci-Fi then picked up on Amazon. 6th and final season is currently airing. Based on a 9-book series. Amazon or another network may continue the series with more seasons or movies to wrap up the book storyline. Fantastic show about humanity and space. Avatar for fantasy. Star Trek TNG for sci-fi. Though so much more out there like others in here pointed out already. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sliders edit, I can't speak to the reputation of this site, but according to this article, which is dated last month, Tracy Torme, and hopefully some OG cast members, says Sliders may be getting a revival. I'm on mobile, so can someone substantiate this elsewhere? Edit 2, as the article I linked in the previous edit points out, there was a petition started on change.org to garner interest in a possible Sliders revival. There are just over 600 signatures needed. So go sign it. Westworld, the OA, Death, Love and Robots. Since no one else has mentioned it, I'll say The Magicians. It's a mature take on some of the tropes in Harry Potter and Chronicles of Narnia, while being very witty and funny. It takes a lot of unexpected turns in the plot and has a very intriguing world and mythos. The way they study and use magic is also really cool emo. All 5 seasons are on Netflix last I checked, couldn't recommend it enough.